June the 11th, 2014, and I thought I would give you an update on my garden. I was on vacation last week and got back Saturday, but it's been kind of raining ever since. It's Wednesday today, so the weeds are kind of getting ahead of me, but I figure that's alright, and I'll show you anyway. The lettuce is done. It's kind of going to seed. A couple of sunflowers coming up there. This first row is some late green beans I planted. Something blue bush bean, anyway. Actually, the first row is some sunflowers now and some onions, corn at the end. So those are green beans. Right here we've got, in this next row, some gourds. Transitions into some cucumbers. And then honeydew. Some squash and zucchini kind of intermixed. We've been eating squash for a couple weeks now. It's pretty good. That next row over there, you know, obviously corn all the way at the end, but that next row is some green beans that I planted, same variety as this row. Just I planted them a couple weeks earlier. Some okra, closer back this way. And then right here, it's a mixture of some pole beans, just some peas, and then there's some sugar snap peas mixed in, but I don't think those are going to make. I think it's going to be too hot for them. Let's go over here to the next row and see what we got. Alright, over here in this next row, I've got some late planted watermelon, and I'm trying to watch out where I step because it rained again today. This is some of the first watermelon I planted, and if you can see right there in the middle of the screen, there's a watermelon. And then this is, you know, watermelon planted at different times all the way out to the end. The next row is some tomatoes that I planted. There's two different varieties and I can't remember what they are. One is some kind of heirloom and one some kind of yellow heirloom, but anyway. And then back here I've got some pink brandywine. That's what these are, and there are tomatoes on them. Let's see if I can get over and show you. There's one down there. There's one right there, middle. They're a lot easier to see from the next row over for some reason. All the way down, tomatoes here, they're doing pretty well. Not eating a tomato yet, but I've got enough green ones now that I would feel like I could pick a green one and have fried green tomatoes if I wanted. The next row over is the first few plants. They're all peppers. The first few are bell peppers. They're all peppers, but there's a few on there almost ready to go. The next ones are jalapenos, and we've been picking jalapenos off of there and eating them. There's not been enough at any one time to do any canning yet, but there's plenty on there. I don't know if they're going to show up or not, but I can see them from here. I don't know if it'll show up, but let's see what that does. Yeah, if you know what you're looking for, you can see them. Some more of my accidental hybrids that are crossed between those ornamentals and those jalapenos. So they kind of look like jalapenos except for they're black. I'll tell you what, I'll walk down there. Hang on. All right. So those are the ornamentals that I told you about. There are plenty on there already. I think that's my neighbor taking care of his squirrel problem. Squirrels eating his tulips. I think that's what that was. I've seen a lot less squirrels around, which is good for me. These are my ghost peppers. They're blooming. I don't know if you can see these blooms. Yep, but they're blooming. No peppers yet, but they are blooming. If you're in northwest Georgia and you want some ghost peppers, these 5 plants will produce more than I can eat. One plant will produce more than I can eat. So if you're in northwest Georgia and want some ghost peppers, they'll be ready probably in another month. This is, I don't know if you can see down in there, or over there, or, I don't know if it's going to show up there, more in there. This is all butternut squash. It's kind of taken over. I'm going to have to rethink how I do these next year. I've never grown them before. I think I'm going to just have to combine 2 rows and plant my running stuff like this, just right in the middle, because they're sprawled all over, and this is only a couple plants. Plenty of butternut squash, which I'm kind of stoked about because I like them. Never grown them before. I'm not sure when to pick them, but they're just all over the place. Corn out there is, again, just really short. I don't know why. I may have planted it too early. There's corn all over it. Looks like the ears are going to be pretty small. I picked one today. Most of the tassels had died. Probably, I don't know, a few more days and those will all be ready. Some potatoes right there that need healing. Some that are just now starting to come up. Some more that need to be healed. And some more just now coming up. That very last row over there, there's some sweet potatoes right there. And you can see I need to get in here and weed. That last row over there is pink-eyed purple hull peas that I planted kind of early. No blooms on them yet. And then those last two little rows there are pink-eyed purple hull peas I planted about 2 weeks ago. I forgot to mention the over here, the green beans are blooming, so that's kind of neat. They'll be having green beans shortly. And that's what's going on in my garden. We'll go take a look at some fruit trees. There's Kayla, and there's Kendall. They're riding their scooters. I always neglect to show these off because they're in the yard instead of in the field. But these are some scuppernong vines. And they have fruit. Look in here. I always neglect to show these off, but they are actually way more mature than anything I've got out in the field. I think I got 22 pounds off of this last year. Not including what we just came by and ate, which is probably another 10 pounds very easily. And there's another one right over there. I think we're going to have a good year for muscadines this year. Because they're just little, I don't know if that's fruit yet or if that's the flowers. Let's see if we get close, if anybody knows. It's not going to focus. Nope, it's going to focus on the grass behind it. There we go. So I don't know if that's fruit yet or just flowers, but covered up anyway. Alright, these strawberries here are done for the season. I think I'm going to dig these up next year and put something else in. The fruit is really good, but it's all very small, and the season for it is only about a week and a half or 2 weeks, so I'm going to probably try to find another variety. I'm going to start off back here. This is a mulberry tree. I've never seen one this big. It's 25 or 30 feet tall, and sorry, that sun's probably not helping you any at all, but it's a big tree at any rate. And we've been having mulberries for a couple of weeks. They're about gone, but there are a few more. If we look under here. So there's a red one. The birds eat more of these than we do because they're all very high. Let's see. There's one right there. About the time they get this far along. They really should turn a little blacker, but that's really tasty anyway. Yep, and they're very good. There was a lot more on here a couple weeks ago, but they're about done. This is another fruit tree I never talk about. There were I think, a total of 4 or 5 of these trees here in the yard when I bought this house. And I cut all but this one down. It's a quince tree. Makes tons of quinces, but I don't really care for them, so this one may eventually get cut down too. But if you like quinces, I'd be glad to give you some in the late fall or early winter. Here's some more strawberries in a little raised bed. Again, they've finished producing for the year, so I'm just kind of hanging out now. And then, I don't know what that is. Let's see. Some kind of mushroom. But there's a bunch of that. Decided I'd stop here on the walk back out to the fruit trees and show you. This is a view of the garden and then the fruit trees that are way out in the back. And I thought I'd stop back on the way back out and take a peek at this corn. So, I don't know if that gives you an idea. It's not a huge ear. Pretty small. In fact, there's a tube of chapstick. It's not just a huge ear. And that one is just about ready. They're all small like that. That's probably a foot off the ground. And all of the corn is small like that this year. Alright, here's the fruit trees. The first row over on the left is some cherry trees. Nothing really to look at there. The next 2 sets of trellises are raspberries, blackberries. I guess all that stuff was planted this year, so nothing particularly interesting to look at there yet. You know, maybe a couple more years. We have been eating some of the raspberries. I actually got fruit this year, so I was kind of pleased about that. And the fruit stuff doesn't look a lot different than a couple weeks ago. All the apples, there's 5 different varieties here, are about that size right there. Here's some Granny Smith. I know I should probably thin that out, but man, it's hard to do. Maybe I'll let it get a little bigger and then thin it out. I think this one was the Yellow Delicious. So, gives you kind of an idea of what they're doing. We ate a few apples off of this tree last year. The rest of them, if they make it, will be the first year we've had, fruit of any consequence off of them. Alright, so that's enough of the apples. These are the crab apples. This is just kind of how they grow. Got a couple of those crabapple trees. Oh, I can't believe I missed this earlier. Look at that right there. I don't know if it'll show. There's a plum ready to pick. Nice. And right there's another one. Sweet. Oh, look at there. Well, that one's not quite ready. Got one right there. Well, if the leaf will get out of the way. Almost ready. Well, that's pretty cool. I walked out here earlier and missed that. So these are some plums. Skip the other plums and right out into the peaches. So that's kind of what they look like there. And then I don't know if you can see, there's a couple. over there. So maybe we'll get some peaches this year. Oh, there goes a rabbit. Oh, I think I missed him. Let's see if I see him on this side. Yep. I don't know if you can see him down there by the storage container, right off the corner of the storage container. Some more peaches. You can see them more easily. These are not quite the size of a golf ball yet. Some of the bigger ones might be the size of a golf ball, but most of them are not. The blueberries, not quite ripe yet, although Kendall and Kayla picked about 9 or 10 from some more bushes on the other side. So it won't be long and we'll have blueberries. Probably the most dramatic difference since 2 weeks ago is right here. Just the size of the Concord grapes have gotten a lot bigger. If you see these vines already on the ground, all that growth is from this year. Those are Concord grapes. This is a Thompson that died all the way back to the ground almost, but it's grown this much this year. You know, we had that cold winter. Down there at the end is my fig bush that was almost killed off by the cold weather. And that is a red flame that was almost killed off by the cold winter. Luckily it's starting to come back. Pomegranate, pomegranate, pomegranate. I don't know that they're worth the space they're taking up because they've not done anything yet and they're several years old. These are 2 wine grapes I bought. This is a Cynthiana. Got to get it trained up a little bit better. And this one is trying to make it to the wire. And I don't see the tag. This one is a Blanc de Bois. I need to get a tag on this before I forget what it is. Some more grapes. Yeah, those don't look very good, do they? I don't want to focus. Yeah, those don't look all that great. I don't know what that is. So these are Reliance grapes. If we go over just a little bit further, you see these grapes are more oval shaped than round. Those weren't that big 2 weeks ago. If we kind of look under here, there's a bunch more. And this is still my, this is the second year for the kiwi. This is the Anna, and it's got, I think this is 10 feet between these 2 posts. I'm actually going to give this one, because this is the fruit bearing, this is the female, another 10 feet for it to grow on here. And then this is the male. And that's kind of it. The rest of it's kind of boring. Some more blueberries and muscadines and stuff like that over there, but it's all pretty new. So that's it for my update. Again, June the 11th, 2014.